Hello beautiful people, I hope you're having an amazing day so far. You are a star, don't let anybody dim your light. Today we're going to talk about Doctor Strange, the multiverse, okay? Lucid Dreaming, Astral Projection, what does it all mean, okay? How can we do that, okay? Is it possible? Are we really in a dream state? I'm going to share with you my experiences, okay, with mushrooms, lucid dreaming, okay? This one attempt that I try to do with Astral Projection, okay? And, you know, how we can integrate, you know, more experiences like this into our day-to-day lives. Now I'm going to run through you the story with Doctor Strange. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the movie already. Okay, we're going to break through it. We're going to go through some Easter eggs, okay, in this movie. Absolutely fucking crazy what they showed. It's almost like they're mocking us, okay, but this movie. But, you know, I won't spoil everything for you, but I'll give you some brief details on this movie. And you know what, for me, I thought it was an amazing film. I actually loved it. I can't wait for the next one. Yeah, so incredible synchronicity. You know, the other day I was talking about, you know, many dreams, funny enough, and how really they're just another universe, okay, that we shift into. And what do you know, a few days later I jump into the film and it's very much about, you know, going into other universes, okay, through dreams, through certain tools, okay, which I won't spoil. And you know, it's good to see more things like this being spoken to in the mainstream. You know, things like this have been spoken about for many years, and it's just amazing to see that happening right in front of us. So Doctor Strange, if you watch part one already, you'll know that this guy is a doctor. He's got certain gifts, he's understood his powers, and you know, using him for the greater good of civilization. However, there is his arch nemesis, his enemy, which is a witch. Okay, funny how they, you know, they make witches the enemy, just like they've done for many years, for thousands of years, or for hundreds of years, you know, and you know, make spells as if they're such a curse or a bad thing. You know, spells really is what we are doing every single day by the words that we speak, okay? That's why we call it spelling. And you know, with Hollywood being one of the main culprits behind it, because Hollywood was inspired by the holly tree, where wizards would use holly from the holly tree, okay, and put them into their big pots and create some magic, okay? That's where it's inspired by. That's why we've got casts in movies, because they're there to move you, and they're there to cast, you know, a spell. So let's get into it. So the film was absolutely amazing. You know, I really enjoyed it. And basically it really is an experience of traveling between multiverses, multi-dimensions, and just seeing the possibility of that. And you know, from what the conclusion of the film for me was really that love conquers, or like a lot of movies, it's always based around love, and you cannot take away the love, okay, from their mother and their children. There is no greater bond between the love and between those two. And you know, you see that throughout the film. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but everything else, you know, the things like traveling between dimensions, amazing. I loved the action, I loved the visuals. It was so fantastic, okay. But let's get into it. So they had a bit more they had a bit of clues. You know, they did mention things like the Illuminati right in front of us. They had a group of people they called the Illuminati. There wasn't too many like symbolism there, but really it was just more so, again, the patriarch. Okay, if you're a feminist, you'll know that the patriarch is always trying to suppress, you know, women and the divine feminine. However, that's changing, as we know. We're learning to be more soft again, to be more sensual, to be more in the receiving instead of always doing, because that's really destroying us. It's creating an imbalance. However, you know, in the film, it was amazing to see things like, you know, just traveling between dimensions. And, you know, of course, we have that potential. However, we are so bombarded with information. We're so bombarded with the distractions in society, okay, that it's very hard for us to tap into our own magic, to tap into our own gifts, right? However, it was good to see that visually what it could look like, right? it might look like a fantasy film to you, but to me, it looked like this was very possible. You know, if you look at, there's been a lot of talk, I forget his name, there was a special guru and many gurus who can manifest things on the spot, okay, whether that be a golden temple or a doppelganger or anything like that. They just had so much potential with reality. There are a lot of people that can bend reality. I know from my own experience that I've done that. I wasn't aware of what that actually was, but I exercise that, and you know, we're doing it all the time. It's just depending on where your focus is. Where are you placing your attention? What are you doing to create that reality? Okay, and how much of your mental energy are you putting into what you're doing in front of you, right? So, of course, I'm not going to say you can go and split water like Moses. Who knows if that was true or not? We'll never really know. But at the end of the day, you know, you are a magical being. You have gifts, you have talents, you have power, okay? And that really comes down to your mental, your capacity to, you know, really create that. Of course, you're gonna have the people, the naysayers, who are gonna say, no, it's not possible. And you know what? If you don't think it's possible, it's not fucking possible. But if you can visualize something, it can fucking happen. And you're seeing that over and over again. You know, we are moving so fast with technology. We're starting to see how much we can simulate this universe into a computing system, right? Just makes you wonder whether we are in a simulation or in a lucid dream. Getting into that, okay, so when it comes to lucid dreaming, okay, this is one thing that I like to exercise is, you know, before I sleep, I visualize myself in the dream that I want to experience, and then I start to lucid dream, right? So lucid dreaming is essentially being aware that you are in a dream, okay? Like now, are you aware that you're in a dream? Or do you think this is the reality, right? This is all it is, right? How do you know you're not in a lucid dream yourself, right? So when I'm lucid dreaming, of course, one thing I like to do is I like to fly. That's one thing that reminds me that I'm in a lucid dream, or I catch myself in a lucid dream, is I start to fly, and that's when I'm aware, okay, I'm in a lucid dream. Other things as well is like, so pretty much just exercising that, what kind of dream I want to experience right before I sleep, and putting my body to sleep, but however, placing my awareness in the shift in reality. Astral projection, that's another thing. It's really tough. I'm terrified of it because I'm so attached to this reality. When I try to astral project, when I'm slowly shifting out of my body, I just get overwhelmed and I get scared. It's not for me. I don't like it. I'm terrified of it. But I know a lot of people have done it, and wow, like they can check other realities. They can get out of their body. They can, you know, there are people who can do remote viewing, for example. They can see things on the other side of the globe, flat earth, whatever you want to call it, and still be in their body, right? While they're consciously placing their awareness somewhere else. You can do that with your astral body as well. Groundbreaking stuff, amazing stuff. I don't have full experience with it, but I know that there are certain tools that you can search on YouTube to help you to astral project. Now, all in all, you know, I know from my own experience with psilocybin, I talk a lot about that on my TikTok and my podcast, Below the Surface, on my experiences. I'll be going through another trip very soon, and I cannot wait to share the insight with you and to connect with more people who go through this experience and who are scared to do that, because I know it can be overwhelming, it can be terrifying if you're not someone who has taken these sort of drugs. Again, I'm not encouraging anyone to do it. I'm only sharing my experience and the insight that I gained from the hack. I would call it a hack. And man, I'm just so thankful to ever do it, because it's very rare that I do it. And when I do it, the insight that I get is just absolutely amazing. And it always reminds me that this reality, to me anyways, and to a lot of people that I know, is that this life is a dream, it's a simulation. It's just all an imagination, right, of our own minds that we've created. Of course, there are certain rules, right? You can't go through walls, or can you? That's the rule that we placed, right? So, you know, when it comes to mushroom, my own experience, I always get a reminder that we're in a simulation, we're in a dream. And, you know, you can create this. One thing I keep getting is that, one, love is the most important thing. You came here to love. And two, anything that you want to create, you can create. You've just got to place enough focus on it, okay? remember, your thoughts create your reality, okay? Your thoughts create your reality, okay? And love is the driving force behind it. If you love something enough, you're gonna make it happen. But if you don't, you find a way out of it. You'll find a way out of it. So, all in all, Doctor Strange, what did I think of it? You know, I was expecting a lot more Easter eggs, right? I was expecting a lot more clues as to what was going on. But I think, for me anyways, I reckon they're kind of mocking us with the whole Illuminati thing to test if anyone's going to respond like, oh, what a joke. They're making fun of like the Illuminati as if it's doesn't exist, but they did mention it in the movie, which was hilarious. Other thing as well, like, I think the more that they create this as like a fantasy, right? As a fantasy, it's not possible. We will only think of it as imagination or like childlike, or that it's not possible, right? Because, you know, whatever you can imagine is fucking possible. I don't see why not. Because everything is inspired by something, right? However, you know, I really liked it. I enjoyed the action behind it. I really enjoyed the ideas around it. And, you know, as to the Easter eggs inside the film, I think they weren't too many, but, you know, it's just so good to see this discussion being shared, these ideas shared in mainstream films. And, you know, today, like, there are people who can, for example, time travel. There's this one story, okay? There's one story where we had this traveler who went to Tokyo, Japan, and these people, the forensics, the forensics officers, they didn't recognize where he came from or what language he spoke. So they pulled out a map and they asked him, right, this traveler, where are you from? And he pointed on the map. It's somewhere in Europe, right? Of this country that didn't exist. He said, I'm from here, but he couldn't really explain where he was from. He was speaking another language, and they were all confused. They said, well, that country you're talking about isn't there. He's like, no, here, like, and they put him in a hotel, and they had him heavily guarded, and I kid you not, they said that, this is the story, that they couldn't find him in his room any longer. So, who knows, you know, there are a lot of ideas around it. A lot of time travelers, a lot of photos as well that share people who've had like telephone devices back in the 60s or 50s, right? And lots and lots of stories around it. Of course, you see like things like The Simpsons, right? Where they've predicted many things before they even happen. Absolutely fucking wild. But yeah, so amazing to see this in the mainstream. I love it. I absolutely love it. Guys, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, let us know. What do you think? Have you astral projected? Do you know how to lucid dream? Have you lucid dreamed before? Is this a dream? Is this a simulation? Are we in the matrix? Okay, let us know. If you haven't joined us on the Telegram, okay, join us on the Telegram. Okay, you can find that link in the bio. All right, add us on Instagram. If you haven't added us already, I'm doing a one-on-one program for 6 weeks. It's called Rise to Your Potential, to help you get to the next level of your life. Okay, we will go through the blockages that's stopping you from flowing and creating a winning mindset. Okay, so check that out. Add us on Snapchat as well, TikTok. Add us on TikTok. We've got a beautiful community of 125,000 people. Okay, peace and much love to you. Keep rising. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Go check out the film. Let me know what you think. If you haven't already watched it, what was your interpretation of it? Let me know. Peace and love to you. Keep going, keep rising. Much love. Stay woke, blessed, and alkalized. Let's go.